is. He's locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, Joe?
What's up, Big O? Feeling well. Doing well.
Good, good. So what do you think about that plan? You cover the week in Vegas for the Pro Bowl, then you go down to Arizona, you cover the Dolphins winning the Super Bowl, and then you travel back to South Florida to cover the parade. Does that sound like a pretty cool 2 weeks?
Yeah, that would be an amazing story if the Miami Dolphins made it to the Super Bowl.
It would
Certainly
be.
the Vegas odds I think have gone from 40-1 to 16-1. And ESPN has the Miami Dolphins as the number one rated team in the entire NFL right now. So things have changed. A lot of things have changed.
When has that ever happened while you're on the beat?
Oh, ESPN, I don't think ever.
Right. I was telling Poupart this, and I don't think he's ready to admit this yet. But I would say you are in the middle of it. This is the best Dolphins team in the last 25 years, the most complete team they've ever had in the last 25 years. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean it's tough because I came back in 16, and obviously, this is a better team than the 2016 playoff team, which was the first Adam Gase year, the first year I returned. And I did cover the Dolphins back in that '02 to '04 range with Ricky Williams, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Patrick Surtain,
Yep.
and Sam Madison. And so that group is probably similar in talent. They didn't have a Tyreek Hill certainly, but a
That's what
stronger running
that's
back in
my
Ricky
point.
Williams.
That's my point. My point is this is the only Dolphins team in the last 25 years that can bail you out on defense and offense. In the last 25 years, the offense was never, ever going to bail you out. Ricky, Lamar Smith, and Jay Ajayi had their way, but they weren't playing with a quarterback that could actually also complement that running back. And so that offense was dependent on one thing, running. Whereas this offense can do a little running, but the quarterback and the receivers are difference makers right now. And it's already been proven in the first 3 weeks. I haven't seen a Dolphin offense this balanced since maybe Marino and, maybe no,
Lamar
because even
Smith.
Jimmy,
Who was
Jamar,
Lamar Smith? Who did Lamar Smith play with? That
that
was
was
Fiedler.
Fiedler. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
it's not. Fiedler's not Tua. It's not even close to Tua. So that to me, that if you really look at it, this is the only Dolphins team in the last 25 years that either side of the ball can bail you out in a game, and it's already happened. Hell, in the Ravens game, the defense gave up so much, and then they got stops, and then they gave the ball back to the offense, and the offense went back and scored all those points. You have to go back to Marino to have a quarterback that can score those kind of points. So for me, I could argue that these guys may have come up with the most complete Dolphin team in the last 25 years.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean the plan has mostly worked. The plan was the only chance we have is to get a top 10 quarterback in the draft by tearing down the roster for 2019. And the plan was to stockpile draft picks. Now, many of them have worked out, Javon Holland and the like, and a few haven't. Certainly Noah Igbenogany, who had only 2 special team snaps on Sunday and has been surpassed by a Division II player from Africa.
Mhm.
Um,
Which was also
so,
found by the team also. So I mean, if you're going to fail somewhere, you got to make up for it somewhere else. And I think
yeah,
and I think we got to get past the Noah stuff already. Complaining
no,
about
I'm
Noah it's no, but I'm just saying
making a
in general.
broader point.
I know, but in general, we have to stop with the 2020 draft, bro, because Robert Hunt, Raekwon Davis, Brandon Jones, and if Tua hits, it's a monster draft. So let's
Two
start.
is the
If
key.
Austin,
Two is the key. Two is the key to the whole
uh,
thing. I mean,
obviously,
does he? But if he becomes a
right.
top 10 NFL quarterback, it's a
Yeah,
good draft. If
yeah. I mean,
he
right now
is, if
he's only number one right now, but let's not worry about that at the
there's a
moment.
lot of
It's a little
different
early.
ways to there's a lot of different ways to grade a quarterback, but certainly if Tua finishes in the top 10 in wins, yards, completion percentage, yards per attempt, then we will all give him his due. Even
You.
Skip Bayless and Matt
I know
Hasselbeck and
those
Chris
people don't,
Sims
bro, don't mention Skip Bayless. Those people are just
and
clowns.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Another clown. They just do shit for clickbait, bro. That's all it is.
I do.
They don't really say what they believe, dude. They do shit just to get a rise out of people. That's all, bro.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting that there wasn't a lot of reaction to Skip Bayless saying that Tua's Dolphins are not a playoff team. It's tough. There's nothing worse than apathy. When you're dating someone and they stop being mad at you and they just don't care anymore. That's kind
Right?
of where Skip Bayless is. People don't
Yeah,
really care
it's
what he.
just
People don't really care.
like for him to just go after LeBron the way he has over the years, it just gets to a point where you're just
Mm.
stupid, dude. It just
It becomes a little bit of a
ignorance.
caricature of oneself.
Yeah, and that's what he and Cal Turd and a couple of those people, that's all they do. And I get it. It's super successful, bro. I get it. I get it. I totally understand. They're making so much bank off of it. God bless them. But you are what
Hey,
you are now in my eyes. And
I
so
know
I
we're
have
going to
no
talk.
respect.
I know we're going to talk plenty about Tua. You always want to ask me, where do I think of Tua now, and am I ready to admit I'm wrong and all this stuff. But there's a lot of other interesting things about Thursday's game with the Bengals.
No,
One of which
and by the way,
I don't know. Yeah,
we'll have plenty of time as the season goes on to prove you wrong over and over again. So I'm not really in a hurry on the Tua thing.
right.
So don't worry about
Well,
that.
just to be
I've
clear,
got plenty of
which?
time
Well, no, hold
to,
on, hold on. I want to be clear. Which specific remark have I made on your show? Specific.
no, you've
Well,
just
no, hold on.
you've
What's the specific remark that will be quote proven wrong? Which one? Which remark?
uh, I don't know about proven wrong specific remark, but over the
Okay.
last year, you've kind of acted like he's not a franchise quarterback.
No,
And
certainly
that's
wait and see. Certainly wait and see. No doubt.
and I've stood strong from the get-go saying it's
It's a good
everything
strategy.
around him and not him. And that's exactly what has turned out. That you got the talent improved and you got coaching, and now, oh my God, he looks like Alabama Tua. Well, I wonder why. Because
No,
he's
it was a
got
good strategy.
confidence around him. It's that's
Let me.
why, Joe.
I get it. I'm
That's
just
what
curious.
it was all. And by the way, Joe,
Mhm.
I want to see how people judge the great Justin Herbert now. Because now Justin Herbert lost his left tackle. Now he's got a bunch of injuries, although Keenan's going to come back. So we'll see, but he's 1-2. He had another interception this week and a fumble. Okay. And Tua played with fractured ribs and a fractured throwing finger and still was able to beat the Ravens coming off the bench. So I'm going to see if the same. You remember Michael Irving when he was miss what was it? What was the word I'm looking for? Where he was accused about something at the White House or whatever, the party house, the White House, and that he wasn't guilty of being with some whore and some cocaine or something. And he came back at the media and said, "I want you to, you vilified me. I want you to use the same kind of energy to talk my my innocence, that kind of stuff." I want to see how people treat Justin Herbert now. And I bet you as the year goes on and he struggles and makes a bunch of mistakes, they're going to say, oh, well, things around him aren't that good. And that's the understanding that Tua never had. And that's what pisses me off most about the entire Tua situation, that you were blaming him when it wasn't him. It's everything else around him, plus letting him get healthy too at the same time.
Well, I mean, this this is his third year in the NFL, right? I mean, that hip injury was a long time ago.
Well, no, but
So
that's part of the
so he
first
should.
and second. It's part of the
Yeah.
first and second
All
year,
right. Well,
Joe.
let
That's
me.
what's
If the Dolphins, all right, you want to get into the hip injury. So if the Dolphins believed that the hip injury would significantly hinder Tua's performance in 2 full seasons, do you think they still would have taken him? No, of course not.
well, dude. That was the idea. That's why they wanted to start a shitty quarterback for the rest of the year and kind of keep him on the side. and just, not win games.
So you think the Dolphins planned to shelve Tua for his rookie season?
I think the front office was in on that. Yeah. Now that look, there was no tanking because Flores was not going to tank. He was trying to coach his ass off. That was obvious. But when you start to think about all the other things that have come to light, yeah, it looks like the front office was kind of setting the team up to, hey, man, this is a transition year. Let's just transition and let's just, get our draft picks and let's move on and let's build it, which, you know, it's hard to complain with that one when you think of the big picture, because you won all those games and you really didn't win anything out of that. It didn't help you, except it put you in a much more difficult position, and you were lucky that Tua got injured so he could fall to you at number 5 overall. You know what I'm saying? So it was an odd situation, man.
If Tua hadn't been injured, it's possible that Joe Burrow might have still been the first pick.
I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah. That's a great question, because if Tua's not injured, the hype is even higher than ever. He goes through the roof. So, yeah, I get it. Winning the national championship puts you there, but they would have said Tua's a multi-year starter and Joe Burrow's a one-year wonder, and that scares people all the time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. You could be right. You could be right.
I wanted to tell you that.
And the Bengals are the number 1 pick, so, there's a good chance, they might have gone on the Burrow side. You never know. You never know.
The Ohio thing, yeah. I wanted to tell you, a few hours ago, I spoke to Ryan Fitzpatrick, obviously the former Dolphins quarterback. He's going to be part of the Amazon Prime Video pregame show for Thursday night's game against the Bengals. And by the way, if you live in Palm Beach County, you're not going to get that simulcast on your local TV, so you need to use the Amazon Prime free trial subscription to watch that ball game. If any of our listeners
subscribe to Amazon, what is wrong with people out there? It's got programming. I've been an Amazon Prime holder for, I don't know, 15 plus years or something crazy. And I only got it for the free shipping because I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon and I save the money. Now you have music, you have movies, TV shows, they've got channels, they've got sports. I got to tell you, for the $130 you pay a year, it's a freaking steal. Amazon.
No, it is. Prime. It is. The Amazon Music is really good. I have a little device called the Mighty device. I don't know if you heard of it. You can listen to all your music on that device, even if you don't have your phone with you.
Right.
So listen. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay, he is a very candid guy, and so I asked him this morning, a couple hours ago, what do you see when you're looking at the Tua film? 3 games. What do you see? He said it's been good. He's impressed. He said the thing that has surprised him is the down the field balls. He said a lot of discussion has been about how he can't throw it far, but he's done it in some really big moments. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, complimentary of Tua Tagovailoa, talked a lot about how he thinks Mike McDaniel is a much better fit for Tua than Brian Flores was. Some really interesting stories.
You were just as guilty as Fitz there, because you were also questioning the deep ball stuff. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, first, he's got to get healthy from the first year. 2, you got to give him some time. And 3, you got to give him the weapons. And finally, he has the coaching, the play design, the weapons, the time, and he's always had the arm. And so whether it's right, see, this is the part that really pisses me off. If you say he doesn't have an arm, or Joe Fan, not Joe Schad, says he doesn't have an arm, I can live with that. But when a so-called ex-player or an executive,
his teammate. This is his teammate.
Yeah.
Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's the part those are the things that freak me out. Those are the things that freak me out. Like, dude, don't you follow the game? Did you watch him at Alabama? He can throw deep. It's just the situation he's in right now, and physically, there's and he was only with him for that first year. He wasn't with him for the second year. So he was with him during the injured rehab year, where he wasn't even a year removed from the surgery. So to think that he's not going to, of course he's going to get better, but the core has to be healthy. And now the core is healthy. There has been zero patience and zero understanding of what Tua has
Yeah, but that's
physically
not unique.
done.
That's not unique.
Okay.
Ryan talked about how we don't give quarterbacks a lot of time, and it's not just Tua; it's all quarterbacks. We make quick
Unless
decisions,
unless
and
you're Ryan
usually,
Tannehill.
and
Unless you're Ryan
usually those decisions are right. Now, listen, I asked Ryan another question. I said, "What would it take for Tua Tagovailoa to become routinely lumped in with dynamic AFC young quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Deshaun Watson?"
Oh God.
Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick
Justin
pointed to
Herbert can't hold his jock.
listen.
It's freaking hilarious.
Do you want to know what he said? I'm trying to tell you what he said. So
Okay, no,
he
but I just
he
hate that
po-
you put Justin Herbert in the same sentence. A
love
guy that's
Justin Herbert.
accomplished
So
nothing. But
Ryan, so
go ahead.
so Ryan Fitzpatrick said consistency, which is a very easy, obvious answer. He
Mhm.
said, look, we've seen him do it at the highest level. Now, can he do it over and over and over again, especially with defensive coordinators trying to make the adjustments? But in addition to that, he said, look, this guy's obviously accurate. What do you think he said is the one thing that's really going to define whether or not Tua takes the next step as a professional NFL franchise quarterback? Not
Win.
leadership.
Win.
No, that's too generic. A specific on-field strength or
Well,
weakness.
big moments, I would say. Like,
Decision making.
yeah, third and
Decision making.
22 and fourth and
No,
7.
decision making. Now, of course, Ryan made terrible decisions throughout his
Yes.
career, but so
Yes.
he knows what a bad decision looks like. But listen, he was also fun and exciting and interesting and had big moments. But listen, but Ryan said, can Tua process and make the decisions quick enough and be consistent enough with his decision making? Listen, this is a guy who was in the meeting room with Tua, who was on the practice field with Tua, who was on game day
As a
with
rookie.
Tua.
As a
You're
rookie.
right. And no,
As a
but and
rookie.
you're right.
As a
He has
rookie
grown. He has
in an
grown.
environment with a coach that hated him.
Yeah, no, and Ryan talked a lot about that. Ryan said it was a difficult situation for Tua. He said it was a rocky situation for Tua that got even worse after he left. Ryan pretty much buried Flores, which surprised me because I thought they were cool. But the thing is, he's just being honest. Ryan can't help. He's like McDaniel. He can't help but be honest. These guys are similar in that they're very honest. They're straight shooters.
I have the same disease. Same exact disease. Can't shut up. I'll tell you exactly what's on my mind. I have the same disease. Same one. And by the way, did he notice what happened last year with Tua? When he had 2 seconds to pass, I thought he made a shit ton of great decisions with all the limitations he had. And everybody knew he was still going to get it to Waddle and got it to Waddle. So to me, that I just think they look at Tua, a lot of you, including you, look at Tua the wrong way. His first year, I thought he was phenomenal. He was great because what he was around and what he had to deal with, and then his injury coming back from it, fantastic. Last year, no offensive line, no running game, only one weapon account on everybody's injured. They don't want to even play Gesicki as much as they should, so which that doesn't help him either. And yet he still was the least sacked quarterback in the NFL with all that shit around him. Okay, to me, I think he's done a marvelous job with the garbage that's been around him. And now you actually give him competence. And oh my God, he's one of the top passers in the NFL. What a shocker. The guy that was able to keep his head above water, win more than Fitz did in a Dolphin uniform, win more for Brian Flores than any other quarterback. And yet now, with all the competence around him, he looks terrific. I just, to me, it's baffling the way he's been viewed. I got to tell you, it's baffling, baffling.
Well, as I mentioned previously, even Tua was not pleased with his performance in his first 2 years. So now he's performing much better, and
Of
and
course,
and so he can't just say, "Oh, well, you were unfair to him in the past," and that well, he's
Tua's
he's
never going to
he's
tell you he's
he's
happy, bro, and
performing
he's
much
great, and
better.
he's not going to brag about himself. He's never going to be happy with himself. He's not. He's one of those kind of dudes, bro. He's not gonna go out and brag about himself, or he's always gonna he's always gonna be humbled. It's more our jobs to do it. All right, let's talk about something that I don't know if you realize this. The Dolphin defense. In the first half through 3 games, they've allowed 59 points. In the second half, they've allowed a total of 18 points. The second quarter has been a bugaboo. They have allowed 14, 21, and 7, 42 points in the second quarter. They allowed 17 in the first quarter. But in the second halves of all these games, in the third quarter, 3, 7, and 3, that's 13. In the fourth quarter, 0, 3, and 2, that's 5 points. The second half, this defense has put a chokehold on all 3 teams that they have faced. All right. And somehow or another, they got to figure out that second quarter, Joe, because wow, they have given up a chunk of points in that second quarter. But the second half and the fact that they're allowing an average of 1.66 points per game in the fourth quarter is absolutely impressive. That second half, they have bent, but then they break their opponent. Okay, they are a bend and break defense.
That's the Patriots formula, yeah.
No, but they are a bend and not break, is the saying. No, they're a bend and break defense. They bend and then they break their opponents in the second half. Very impressive if you look at the track record through 3 games.
Yeah, and you have to think that on Thursday night, and I got to run in 3-4 minutes here. You got to think that on Thursday night, the Dolphins are going to attack the hell out of Joe Burrow.
Hell yeah.
The weakness is the offensive line. The weakness is sacks, and so these guys are licking their chops.
Hit them, and hit them hard. And does Christian Wilkins get to him? That's the question. And let me tell you something. They're well on their way to having Andrew Luck Part 2. Okay? Well on their way. I mean, if you're going to draft a franchise quarterback, brother, protect his ass, man, please.
Yeah, and I thought they did make some investments on that offensive line, right?
Yeah, they did. They got 3 guys, dude, and it just has not worked out. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know what it is, but he's getting hit a ton and getting sacked a ton, and he also has the Tua disease. You know that, right? Have you noticed that? If you watch it, he hangs onto the ball too. He plays hero ball, which Tua stayed away from it now. But we saw that a couple of weeks ago. And we're like, yo, dude, you got to let go of the play. You got to take the sack. And you've noticed now he's not doing that. He's just taking the sack or throwing it away or whatever. Joe has that too, which that happens too. It's not a Tua thing. It's not a Burrow thing. Young quarterbacks sometimes have that tendency that they just want to try to make the play and they hang on to the play a little too long. And Joe, he's doing that also. He's going to open it up for Miami to get to him because he will hang on a little bit more for those receivers to get open for him.
And you get the idea that Jamar Chase is going to want to show a national televised audience that the Dolphins made a mistake by trading down out of the position where they could have taken him. The Dolphins preferred Jalen Waddle. And so, Jalen, back-to-back 100-yard games. Maybe this is a game where Tyreek Hill instead bounces back with more targets and catches. It's just so nice to have all these different weapons. And unfortunately, Mike Gesicki really not a part of this right now with just one catch last week.
Oh, but it was big, dude. It was big. That catch in the air 2 weeks ago. That was a thing of beauty when he got that touchdown.
I just think he's gonna. I just think that if they can get a second rounder for him at some point, they should probably do that.
I agree. I agree with you. I think it's Tanner Connor time coming. You saw how he caught a little. He got a couple snaps this past week
on offense,
right?
Okay. Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't.
I think I saw him. Unless I must be crazy. I got to look at the snap, but I thought I saw him out there for a play or two. And so I just think that eventually, as the season goes on, we're going to see that speed out on the field. And have you talked to him?
No, I requested Tanner Connor during training camp, but he was injured and unavailable. So
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you. Well, it's on our Big O Show Cuts channel, the second channel we have. I did an interview with him last week, and
mm.
you should check it out because he talks about his game, and it's like Kittle's. He's not built like Kittle, but he plays like Kittle. And so he's one of those guys that refuses to go down, and he'll take on contact and all that kind of stuff. So he has the mentality that Gesicki's not that dude,
Well,
certain guys.
They kept him on a roster for a reason. So we'll see
Yes.
how it plays out. It's an
Yeah.
interesting
And we've
story.
already watched with Kohu and who's the other guy? When they keep somebody on, there's a reason why that
Yeah, need him.
Yeah, they fall in love with him. Trill, whatever. Trill Williams hung on since last year. Something about it. When they like you, even if there's something happens with injuries or whatever, they'll stick by you and they'll hang on to you. So they must love something about Tanner Connor. All right, follow him on Twitter at Schad Joe. And of course, go to his favorite place to have some delicious wings at Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca. I suggest you follow them on Instagram because it's a beautiful follow. If you know what I'm saying, an absolutely beautiful follow, and tell them why it's a beautiful follow, Joe Schad.
You need to go Thursday night because I believe we got to look it up. They have they have a special theme at Hijinks Sports Bar and Grill in Boca Raton every Thursday night, and I think it might. I'm trying to remember what the theme is for this coming Thursday. It has something to do with football, I think. So anyway, look it up. Look them up on Instagram, and yeah, I'm hoping to be able to drive soon so I can get over there. I don't have any friends willing to take me over there, so I'm hoping I can. I'm gonna have to drive
and
myself.
The beautiful ladies are there too, by the way. Okay, so former and current Dolphin cheerleaders work there at Hijinks Sports Grill. That's what I'm telling you. Go to the Instagram page, and the beauty is endless there. You're gonna go, wow. That might be the sports bar with the best looking women I've ever seen.
And the thing is, the food is good too. The food and drinks are good.
Apparently.
The wings are really good.
I got to go taste it. I got to go try it myself.
Pick me up and we'll go over there.
I will. Of course I will. I would not go to that place without picking you up. So yes, we will definitely do that. Appreciate you.
See you, buddy.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad. The hijinks are over.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.